white people have a habit of stealing our words. So just like woke, and just like thug, and just like ghetto, and just like all of these other words, they just have a habit of not being able to find words themselves.
Like Illa said, you're just
black men are 20 times
you're
more
not
violent
really
than
spewing out any facts.
black men are
Because
20 I can go
over
with that.
50%. No, let me
Black
speak.
men are 20 times
Over-
more
over
violent than white men.
That's what I'm saying. You're showing. You're showing.
Hold
what we're hiding.
on.
She said
Hold
off
on.
of the interruption.
Hold on.
She shouldn't
Hold
start
on.
interrupting people because we
Hold
weren't
on.
interrupting nobody.
So your statistics are flawed, like all of the rest of YT statistics.
How are they flawed?
Because statistically, black men are not more violent than white men.
They're
It's
20,
just not.
they're
That's just
20.
not. That's just not a stated fact. Black people live under a system of white supremacy. So to sit on this panel, Pearl, and be disingenuous and act like that doesn't exist, you lying. You lying.
Hey man, it's getting spooky. I just came across something called black fatigue, and basically, it's white Americans are sick of our shit.
I got news for you. Black Americans are sick of your shit. Black people are sick of black people's shit.
Basically, society is saying that they're tired of how Black people are blaming things that have happened to us historically in the past. And they are also now adding different things that they have seen in society to that behavior as well, like loud mouthing or maybe, using certain words or certain behaviors in public.
Black fatigue seems to be growing, especially within the Black community. There's a growing frustration within certain behaviors, and more people are starting to speak up about it.
White people, Black people, Hispanic people are saying we have Black fatigue because of the behavior of some Black people.
It's not racist to call Black people out for their behavior and what they're doing to society at this moment. I'm glad people are noticing this because it's been so many years and it's finally catching up to y'all.
When you hear Black fatigue, what does it mean to you?
I mean, I understood the original, definition of it. I think that was more in line, but it does sound like people are just annoyed with, maybe being inundated with the complaints of the community. Like they said, they're kind of building on this new narrative. So I can't say I disagree wholeheartedly. There's some truth to that. It's fair to hear people out, but I know it's new. Well, I'm sure we'll expound upon it, but that's what I have so far.
Oh, it was a lot that was said in the video.
I want to know what's on the video. I just want to know, when you hear the word Black fatigue, what does it mean to you?
It means what Ms. Winters described it as. It's the erosion of our mind, body, and our spirit from systemic racism and daily microaggressions and lack of sustainable racial progress. So I don't like that they change terms that means something for us to focus on. It gives other races of people who may be ignorant or avoidant of our issues that they may have directly caused. To piggyback on that, ignorance is ignorance across all races of people. We all have degenerates of every race and culture. We don't respect or accept those. That's not the highlight of who we are, and I don't think that's what we need to focus on. Black fatigue is what it stands for and what it will always be, and that's what we need to focus on. Why are we physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted? And let's not focus on the ignorance that they want to keep highlighting. Everybody will be sick of that. That's obvious. Let's just stay on the foundation and build off of that.
I mean, for me, it's the initial definition. It's Black people being sick and tired of always being classed in a box, whether it be in America or all across the world as a result of colonization and, YT inferiority. But typical, as usual, white people have a habit of stealing our words. So just like woke, and just like thug, and just like ghetto, and just like all of these other words, they just have a habit of not being able to find words themselves. So they take words that we use to describe and explain our experiences, and then they try to steal it to be their own definitions of something that is not the original definition of the word. So I think that Black people should not allow them to again take the word just like they did woke. It has a definition. Like, for example, I have Karen fatigue, right? I do. Genuinely, I cannot stand seeing them crash out in Walmarts and Targets all across America. But somehow, we're not, I mean, like, we all have fatigue with the other race, but find your own word. You see how I just made that up? I didn't have to steal something that's within the white community and make it something it's not. So yeah, it's still the original definition for me.
So when I think of Black fatigue, I think that people are kind of sick of Black people's behavior and excuses for the behavior. And I would say some of the behavior is, this is not all Black people, as I always have to say with these kind of conversations, but I would say these are some of the things that people are fatigued of. Black people committing more crime, a lack of basic decorum, a lack of good faith, at times a lack of work ethic, basic manners, sexual behavior in public, dressing overly provocative, taking advantage of white people's good nature, gaslighting, attitude. I could give stories where personally this has happened to me at work, in sports, in cities, and in friend groups. Somebody said microaggressions. I don't really know what that means, but I think that's kind of just an excuse for poor behavior. So
the original definition, I think that what we're witnessing is the fatigue of just ignorant behavior that all races carry. You know what I'm saying? So I think to just coin it as Black fatigue, like what do we call what white people do? Is what's the word for that? Would it just be called, hey, we're just tired of ignorance, we're just tired of, or is it white fatigue? Like, to me, Black fatigue is what it originally means. But it's just funny to hear white people talk about the side effects of what their people have done to people, and then talk about, hey, I don't know what's wrong with them. Like, how do our people have been disrespected when we behaved at our best? When you look into history, when people get, you know what happened to us, all the violent atrocities, the redlining, those people wasn't sagging their pants. Those people wasn't rapping gangster lyrics. Those people were going to church. They was conservative. Their pants was buckled up. They was going to church and all that, and they was blowing them shits up. So when I hear white people, the most violent, the most aggressive, the most pillaging people to ever walk the face of this planet, actually call out people who are just showing the side effects of years of mental degradation, social degradation, economic chicanery. You talk. I know you're getting triggered. It's gonna be a long night. Get ready.
No, I'm not triggered. I thought we could go back and forth.
Nobody interrupted you. Get your seatbelt ready. It's gonna be a long night.
Overreaction. I was talking about.
No one look at you. See, like you can't even help it. You can't even help it. We ain't even get started yet. See, you ain't never. You just get your popcorn ready, baby. But like I was saying, right? Because we got literature. We ain't gonna just talk from just our thoughts. I hope you got some literature on your side, Pearl. I hope you got some literature, because I'm not gonna just speak from my thoughts, my opinions. I'm gonna quote from literature. So what I'm saying is, I'm tired of ignorance of all races. But to hear white people go out their way to co-sign this, when most of Black people's issues, whether it be the drug issue, whether it be their issues with relationships, whether it be their issues with economics, whether it be the hijacking of their arts and the hijacking of putting negative images as far as music. We don't control media. We don't control the major networks. So for anything Black people to do that we do negatively to be broadcasted to the world has to be funded, co-signed, and endorsed by a European. So to hear these same people talk about the things they've done to these people, and then when they have the nerve to show the side effects of that, say, hey, I don't know what they're talking about, just shows you what we're dealing with. So Black fatigue is no such thing as Black fatigue. It is the fatigue of just ignorance of American culture, and it's eroding Black people because we've been attached to most of these atrocities the most. So excuse us for the fact that we don't want to talk to you like we used to. We don't want to be as gracious as we used to, because when our parents was and our grandparents was going to church and saying, yes, master, yes, Paul, yeah, you would blow their heads off. There was a story of a man, and I'm gonna shut up. There's a story of a man, I forgot his name, but there was a story. I can tell you about what happened in my job today. But there was a story of a man, I think his name was Booker, I forgot his last name. This was in the 50s, not that long ago. So let's not act like history don't matter, because we celebrate 4th of July every year. We celebrate past the Civil War and 7 years ago, Ulysses Grant, all these old forefathers, we acknowledge them every year. So the history means a whole lot to this country. He worked at a restaurant for white people, and he said, hey, I try to do my best. I be nice. They call me the N-word. They talk to me crazy. I'm just trying to take care of my family. I'm trying to take care of my kids. At nighttime, I got my own restaurant, and I work it myself. So this man works for white people in the daytime, Mississippi, and at nighttime, he works at his own restaurant. So at that time, black people, we don't have, even now, but in the 50s, you think, who owns cameras? Who owns media networks? So we don't. So even the people who interviewed him was white. But guess what happened to that man? They killed him days later, just because he had the nerve to tell white people who asked him, well, how white people treat you, just for him to get killed by white people. So I don't want to hear no white person talk about black fatigue. Now, if you want to talk about the degradation of America, you want to talk about the lack of literacy in youth, you want to talk about just drugs in general, just immoral culture of Western culture, I'm all for that. But don't blame it on black people, because we're only doing what was done to us.
Again, I would say even in that interaction, I was very polite to you, where you automatically assumed the worst. So that kind of reiterates what I was talking about. The next argument I'm going to go through. So I'm going to,
no, but what did I assume?
I'm going to keep going. That's going to be gaslighting right there. So gaslight. Okay. Pretend you weren't doing what you did, which is totally fine. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. But this is an example of the black fatigue. Then you're saying you're blaming it on history. I just think goes back to white people are kind of tired of hearing excuses.
Of course you are.
Yeah. And it just,
of course you are, but why wouldn't you be tired of it?
As an adult, you are responsible for your own behavior. So if you do something rude, or if you commit a crime, you are responsible. Nobody else is responsible for it.
Absolutely. But that's not a black crime. It's not a black issue.
White people commit more crime in this country than black people. So let's if we're gonna speak facts, let's really stop talk statistics and stop just blowing, just saying out anything, because like Illa said, you're just
black men are 20
you're not really spewing out any facts.
Black men are
over 50%. No. Let me
black
speak.
men are 20 times more violent than white men.
That's what I'm saying. You're showing.
Hold on. She
said the interruption. She should have started interrupting people, because we weren't interrupting nobody. But you want to interrupt, so now you're flowing off the flow of the flow, which is what they do in real life. Go off the flow of everything.
Hold on. Hold on.
She throwing up racist talking points.
Hold on. Let's just do one at a time.
Felonies. 51% of arrests for murder in 2019 were black. Black women are 7% of the population, 39% of abortions. Felony conviction rate for black individuals is 61%. Black people are 13% of the population, but are incarcerated 38% of the time. 48% of black adults are obese. 54% of black women are obese. 1 in 4 black children born in 1990 had an imprisoned parent by age 14. Yeah, so if you want facts, there are some facts. Go ahead.
I would like to know, how do you quantify black men being more violent? I think that there's statistics, but how do you go and measure that? Like, without just the numbers, how do we go through our daily lives and observing just reality that black men, just by default, just by being black, are more violent than all other males walking around? How do we quantify that?
I would say, number one, the data reflects it. And also my real lived experience. I would say that is what I have seen in real life. So
I haven't seen a black man be violent in my years of experience. So what are we talking about?
Okay.
It's 43 million black Americans that live here. So your statistics are flawed, like all of the rest of YT statistics.
How are they flawed?
Because statistically, black men are not more violent than white men.
They're
It's
20.
just not. That's just not a stated fact.
They're 20.
No. That's just not a stated fact.
Where are your facts?
They literally colonized an entire civilization. White men are inherently violent, right? That's why we have all of this school stuff going on. We're not doing that.
Do you feel safer in a white neighborhood or a black neighborhood?
I feel more safer in a black neighborhood.
Well,
that's why I live on property in North.
God help you.
Yeah, I do. I don't feel safe around white people. Like, I'm scared of you right now. I'm afraid because it's because of the white fatigue. Because, and to answer JR's question, I believe that black fatigue is the original answer. And I believe that they try to flip it, just like they try to crowbar their way into using the N-word by trying to tell people that that's okay because they now want to say it. No, it's for us and it's by us. Y'all can't say that either. And y'all can't try to hijack a term that the professor wrote a book about it. You know what I'm saying? So it just goes to show the colonizer mindset that you guys have in your brain. It's literally disgusting. And it's sickening, right? It's like almost like a mental illness to me, because there is no way that y'all just really came in and hijacked this term in an effort to humiliate or talk down on black people. When you pull up those statistics, do you know that black people patent over 50,000 inventions in this country? Do you know that we built institutions? We actually built this country from scratch.
No, you
so
didn't.
when you bring up statistics,
what institutions did you?
Yo, let her finish talking.
We know our history. We know who we are. We know our history, and we know we've been here, and we still here. Like 47% of Black Americans live in the middle class. So that little small degenerate class of people that you like to brag about and y'all like to put on the forefront, we don't like them either. They get shunned by us too. So this whole concept of black fatigue doesn't really exist. Like Illa said, it doesn't exist. That's just a people fatigue.
But you can't tell people how to. You can't tell
people any of those things. So
you can't tell people.
Hold on.
We live under a system of white supremacy right now. We live under a system of white supremacy. That's not going to change today. That's not going to change tomorrow. Currently in 2025, Black people live under a system of white supremacy. So to sit on this panel, Pearl, and be disingenuous and act like that doesn't exist, you lying. You lying.